One of the most common complaints I get from people who are teaching themselves to code with the goal of getting that first job and changing careers is that there's way too much information to learn. There's too many concepts, too many skills that you have to cultivate over that time that it feels overwhelming. It makes a lot of people want to quit. So in this video, I wanted to cover the truth about this, like my reaction to that, and really, is there too much information now to really teach yourself, or is there something else going on? So I'll definitely get into that. Now, if you're new here and you're wondering who I am, I'm Andy Sterkowitz. I'm a self-taught programmer. I taught myself to code back in 2014. I landed my first job in 2015, and I've dedicated this channel to help people to do the same thing. So I would definitely recommend hitting the subscribe button below, but also make sure to hit the bell icon so you get notifications anytime I put out a new video. Now, with all of that being said, let's first acknowledge let's acknowledge the reality of the situation. There is a ton to learn, potentially, if you're gonna get into software development and web development. I mean, there's just so many concepts that you have to pick up. I mean, especially with web development, how the internet works. I mean, if you aren't really used to the process of developing software, like figuring out how to write computer logic, how to plan, and then on top of that, you have to learn the syntax of programming languages, how APIs work. I mean, it can be overwhelming, right? And if you were to create a list of all the things that you'd have to learn, it would be potentially thousands of items long, and that in itself is overwhelming. But even with that being said, okay, even if we acknowledge this fact or the reality of the situation, we also have to acknowledge that not everything is equal. Everything on that list would not have the same weight or value to an employer, right? Because ultimately we're learning these things to get employed. So what I'm trying to say here is that some skills are really, really important to learn and to master, while some skills are nice to have that don't really make a huge difference or may not make a huge difference to get hired. So let's first clarify about getting hired. Like, how do you get hired? So the way that you get hired is a company wants to feel confident that by hiring you, that you can solve their problems for them. Some of the problems companies have is there's bugs in their application that you have to fix. Maybe they want you to build some small applications for them to make some of their inner workings of their company a little bit better. Maybe they have an existing application that you want to build on top of. There's a number of things, but when somebody hires you, they want to know that you can step in and solve those problems, right? Or at least with a little bit of help, solve most of those problems. That's why they're going to pay you the big bucks, right? They're going to pay you well for what you do, is because they have problems, they want you to solve it. So if you come in and you've spent 10 years learning every programming language or every skill or every concept in depth, if you walk into an interview and you tell them that, they may not really know what you can actually do, right? Because you just got this long laundry list. So what they're gonna look at is to see your competence as a programmer. They wanna know that you can solve some small tasks, for example. They wanna see that maybe you have some completed projects that you've gone from start to finish. They wanna know if you can handle certain aspects of a programming language. So they'll maybe put you through some coding challenges. Maybe they'll pair program with you to see how you think and how you would solve problems in their actual code base. So again, it's not about learning every single thing under the sun. There are some really important things to get down, and there are some things that you may not even have to learn at all. Again, it's not about learning everything. It's really about focusing on some of the core skills that really matter and really showing a company that you can do something. Now, even with all of that being said, there are a lot of things to learn. Even if you narrow it down, all the unimportant things or less important things, there still is a lot to learn. So for those of you guys who are feeling overwhelmed, like, look, you just have to take things one at a time. I know that there is a feeling that you want to get this done fast. There's a feeling that you want to rush through things, but the only way you learn this on a deep level is you just take things one at a time. If you had a to-do list of 100 items, it wouldn't be smart to be looking ahead at item 97 when you're on item 3, right? So you just work on one thing at a time. And when you're doing that, you have to be fully present. You can't be worried about, well, what's the next thing I have to learn? Honestly, being slow as a learner is it's actually fast, right? Like, being slow is fast. So don't really get obsessed too much about what's to come or what you have to do. Just learn what you're learning now, learn it as well as you can, and focus on the thing that I said before, which is just get projects done. Use those projects as excuses to learn all the things you need to learn, and over time, it will come, it will happen. I've seen it over and over again with people I've worked with, that the one thing that will get you to be a software developer is consistency, getting back in front of the computer every day, coding, putting together projects, learning as much as you can, asking questions. That's what really will get you there in the long run. It's not about learning the perfect amount or having the perfect list of things that you need to learn and then going through that and figuring it out. Ultimately, a company is going to hire you because they trust that you can do the work. So I hope this video helps those of you guys out there who are feeling overwhelmed or are trying to tackle everything under the sun because you believe that's the only way you can become a programmer. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, as the YouTube algorithm loves that and it would help me out a lot. Other than that, that's really all I have for today. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and